How's it going, guys? I got a match against a guy by the name of Sodaswordfighter, and this is using a couple of new things that I saved during the stream last week. I really don't know what is wrong with me today. I cannot talk for crap, but I had some new stuff, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to try it out. So I brought like 4 or 5 of the dudes, and I was like, who wants a standard match? Because it was the tier that I had saved the most for. So he had some stuff, I had some stuff. It's just a kind of relaxed standard game, I guess. So we'll just get right into it. Anyway, he's going to lead off with his Jolteon. I'm going to go ahead and lead off with my Garchomp. And the HP Ice is extremely obvious. I had a lot of people on the stream telling me this, despite the fact it was like, I know, don't worry about it. I know HP Ice on a Jolteon is a thing. Y'all can calm down. But I decided to double out into, he decides to double out into a Skarmory as I go into my T-Tar. I don't really mind this matchup though, because I have Fire Blast and I do have the Stealth Rock, so I can take the opportunity to set up one of my hazards and then I can just whittle away at him with Fire Blast. So kind of whatever from there. Go for some rocks. Big deal. Anyways, he goes for another layer of spikes. I'm not really sure what else to talk about right now because I just go for Fire Blast. I think I end up getting a crit right here. I don't really see this as mattering too much in the long run, to be completely honest, just because I don't know how much it would have done, especially if he is physically defensive. And he did have this 30, so it brought him down to 1 anyway. The fact that rocks are up means that he will either die now or he will die upon switching, and this basically guarantees it unless he can get him spun away because he does have a Tentacruel. So in time, we'll see what happens. But he goes into his Keldeo as I go for Fire Blast. I would have gone for Pursuit right there had I actually had it, because I had a feeling he was going to end up trying to switch out, but it turns out that this T-Tar does not have Pursuit, because I built this thing in the day when everyone was staying in on a commonly known Pursuit user, and I just couldn't use Pursuit correctly. So I was like, I'm just going to give this thing Crunch, just fuck the people that don't want to switch on that thing. So he predicts me very nicely right here, so I'm trying to get a feel for like what kind of player he is, and it turns out he's playing me really fucking hard, not gonna lie. So get to go out into my T-Tar right now just to take any hit he wants to go for. If it's a Volt Switch, it's honestly gonna shrug it off just fine. T-Bolt, same thing. HP Ice, even less. So I think he kind of got a step ahead of himself and thought I was gonna want to go into the Garchomp to just completely get rid of the electric thing going on there, but T-Tar really doesn't take anything from the hidden power, so I had no reason not to go into that. Anyway, he goes into a Starmie sooner now than later just to, end up just switch fodder, that kind of thing. So I reveal on this set on accident that I do have Ice Beam. I don't know how much it would have done to the Skarm if it wasn't down to its 30 blah 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 after rocks. I don't know, maybe I should have just gone for Fire Blast. I was thinking Keldeo might have come back in, so that's why I just decided not to go for Fire Blast. And I was like, Ice Beam is a thing that won't miss, so I'll get damage off either way. But I get to go into my Starmie right now because it is a nice solid switch into Keldeo. But the one thing I should have noticed, and then at the same time I didn't really care about in retrospect, is his Sandstorm damage goes first. It's like, okay, he's a Scarf Keldeo. That's cool. That's good to keep in mind. It wasn't really something I was paying attention to. But then when I look back at my team, I have nothing that really wants to take a Hydro Pump, to be completely honest, except from Breloom on a safe switch-in. So I was like, alright, Starmie's going to die on switch-in anyway from Stealth Rocks and Spikes. So I might as well just leave it in. It didn't get to spin. The irony in its name just finally comes into play right now. But I get to put something to sleep, and he knows that, so he's going to go into his Tyranitar in order to get put to sleep. This is fine. I would have preferred the Gengar, which the Gengar's name combined with what it actually does just really pisses me off. I mean, I don't like that it's... You'll see in a little bit, because it's like... He goes into it, and then it turns out that I probably should have taken this thing out before I tried to do my thing with Breloom, because this is a mono-attacking set, and the only attacking type on it is a fighting type. And Gengar is just going to proceed to be a little shit for like the next 5 to 10 turns. I'm realizing that I have absolutely nothing for it except to Life Orb stall it out. So I was really hoping it wasn't going to have sub. That is really naive of me to say in this generation when fucking every Gengar this generation carries sub, split, and 2 attacks, or sub and 3 attacks with Life Orb, that kind of thing. Y'all know how it works. But they almost always carry sub just to get one on the switch and then just, wreak havoc from behind a sub. So I'm seeing that he has Life Orb now, so it's like, okay, I might as well just set up a sub. I'm not gaining a lot of HP off of this, but Life Orb stalling and, Sandstorm stalling seems to be working out okay. He cannot Pain Split me as long as I'm behind a sub. I don't know how long this is going to end up working out, though, because I do want this Breloom for when his T-Tar comes around. So I figure, might as well go into my own T-Tar just to take a Shadow Ball from him. And then if he wants to go for a Focus Blast, I think he'll die in conjunction from 2 Life Orb hits and 2 Sandstorm things. If I'm not, I think I'm mistaken. So I feel like I was kind of overestimating what was going on here. And it only does like 40 total between Life Orb and Sandstorm. So he ends up going for Pain Split, which I was not expecting. I thought he was going to be sub, 3 attacks. So one of those being like freaking HP Fire for Scizor or something. I really couldn't tell you. I don't know what the 3rd attack is. I guess it could be HP Ice. That could have been a thing. But he gets back a decent chunk of HP, and that kind of upsets me. And to be completely honest right here, do you know what the one thing I was banking on? The Focus Blast miss. And do you know what happened? Damn straight. So I get to crunch his ass, and that's the end of Gengar. I don't know how I would have played this out if it didn't miss, if it actually hit. But Focus Blast is just as much a chance to miss as Scald does to burn, so you can count on it from time to time that it's not going to be 100% reliable on either side of the coin for both of those moves. But he's going to go into his Keldeo, and I'm like, I don't know what move he's going to go for, so I might as well just leave this thing in to die. Not like I really need it for anything anymore except for potentially Jolteon, but I still have a full health Heatran. I think I can take it on as long as I keep that fresh until then. So I go into my Garchomp right here. The only reason I go into it is because I am 100% sure he's Choice Scarfed. A Secret Sword will not hurt me that bad because it's hitting my physical defense, and I am a physically defensive Garchomp with a lot of physical defense investment. Now, to be completely fair, I will complain about the Keldeo getting a critical hit on my Garchomp later. I'm jumping ahead a couple turns, yes. But the reason I'm doing that is I probably should have just fucking killed the damn thing off right there. I don't know why I even tried phasing it out. Should have just Earthquaked it, and then that would have been the end of it. So, the other reason I haven't brought in my Ferrothorn up until now, some of you guys have been looking at the team preview, been wondering, that would have been wonderful switch-ins to, like, 3/4 of his team. This is a Choice Banded variant, so that's why it's not gaining any HP or anything like that. You could look at it and think, red card? No, it's Choice Banded. You're going to see that damage on this Tentacruel because I'm going to go for a Gyro Ball on switch-in, and it does... I'm not going to say 100% of the damages, but it does enough for you to think, wow, that is not a defensive set at all. So I'm thinking that was like 75%, if not more. Easy. And he chooses his one move before he dies to be setting up a layer of Toxic Spikes. Now, I question the judgment on that because one of my pokes benefits from poison, but it already is poison. Then the other poke isn't even affected by it. This one doesn't take any poison damage. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 pokes on my team that are going to take poison damage at this point tops. So I get to go out into it. Actually, no, I get to go out into something else completely different. Get to go into my Breloom. I was like, you know what? I might as well just sack it right here because I'm going to die from spikes. If he wants to go for Hydro Pump, that's fine. I could maybe bank on a miss. Probably not. Whatever. If it dies, it dies. That's great. So this Keldeo is kind of scaring me right now because I don't really have a lot for it. He did lock himself in on Secret Sword. I was looking at the amount of damage that the Secret Sword did to my Garchomp the last time I switched in. And I know I can take it, which is why this critical hit matters. But going back like 5 turns, like I said, probably should have just killed it off right there. So now I've gone from, okay, the situation was okay, to like, I am probably going to lose mode. But if you look at the HP number, which I did not have access to during the game, and I only had an eyeball, I was thinking that it would probably die at the end of the turn to Sandstorm. And if it didn't, I honestly don't know what I would have done. But he takes me out with another Secret Sword. It turns out that Secret Sword hits a lot of the things left on my team super effectively, but he dies. And that's fantastic, because all he has left is a Jolteon, and he has a Sleeping Tyranitar left versus my Specs Heatran. Now, I know Heatran has a very nice natural amount of bulk. I can't help but wonder if he could have ended up what am I trying to say here? If things would have ended up better for him if he went for a Volt Switch right here, let me kill off his Sleeping Tyranitar, and then come back in and hit me with the T-Ball. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he runs the Volt Switch on. I'm pretty sure we saw that at least once. But he just decides to go for the straight out damage, which honestly kind of surprised me a little. That would have been a better play, to just get some damage off, let this thing die, and then switch back in and, clean up from there. Because that way you would get 2 attacks instead of 1, throwing yourself in the line of fire. Pun somewhat intended, like he just did. But this T-Tar stays asleep for 2 turns, I believe, is all I really needed, and I just get to take it out with another Earth Power. So that was actually the game. Could have ended up on 2-0 in his favor if that was a thing that happened, but it wasn't, and honestly, it ended up being a pretty good game either way. It was more or less hacks for hacks. I mean, it kind of tipped a little bit in my favor with the Scarm, but honestly, I didn't really see a big deal as long as I had my Specs Heatran and some other stuff. So, you know, part of my team gave me trouble, part of his team gave me trouble. That's how battles tend to go. So, it's pretty even, and I kind of enjoyed it. So, if you guys did too, you're more than welcome to leave a like rating, comment, and subscribe, and do your thing. I also got a couple other games for the stream, and I think I could stream potentially once or twice more this week, so keep an eye out on your sub boxes for that, because people tend to ask, where is my live streaming link, or when do I live stream? A combination of those two questions. There is a streaming link on my channel page in the banner. It's the Twitch one, and then it's just twitch.tv/my URL. And when I stream, if you want to follow that Twitch channel, it'll send you an email when I start. Or if you just want to keep an eye out on your YouTube sub boxes, I upload a video right there. So that's 2 ways to keep yourself in the know. And I've also got social media links in the description in case you want to be updated with really just about anything else. So kind of feel like I've talked your damn faces off. I'll let you guys go for now. And, oh, that's right. I have a surprise for you after this for those of you that actually enjoy LPs. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.